Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to AC's 8-Bit Zone. Today I'm going to repair a Commodore 64 case. In the background I have the 3D printer warming up. This is what the resin looks like. This is a very thick material. It's viscous, and this is interesting looking, sort of a blue green. And I'm going to create some 3D case clips to repair this case. It's very common that the 3 clips in the back, especially in some of the case styles, can easily break. I'll show you the damage and then the process of designing the clip, and then we'll get to printing it on the 3D printer. So let's get started. Oh, hey there. This is the more detailed version of the video where I'll make the measurements and go into the details of modeling in TinkerCAD and then slicing the model in CHITUBOX to prepare it for the 3D printer. If you want the quick version with music, just click on this link above. Definitely subscribe. We're on the way to 100 subscribers fast. This is a new channel, and I'd love it if you join every week for the next episode. Now, you don't have to print your own 3D case clips. If you'd rather not go through the hassle and you'd just rather see me try 2 or 3 times until I mess it up and finally get it right, that's probably a great plan. So another option is to head on over to this website. Let's take a look here. So I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this, soygeneris.com. I believe this is Bert's website, and he has from what I hear, a great set of case clips for any of the various kinds of Commodore 64 cases. So I think that the 2 types of case that I'm going to show you today are the Type 2A and the Type 2B. But this is a great way to go. I've seen these successfully applied on several videos. One of the videos was by Jan Beta, and it looks like the clips work great. This is probably the way to go just for ease and speed and simplicity. But I happen to have this new printer resin, the blue brand, that I opened in a recent midweek coffee break, which I'll link up above. And I need a good excuse for trying this out. I want to see specifically if it's stronger than the standard resin that I've been using. So in another video, I repaired the front face of the 1541 Model 2 disk drive, and I printed a couple of different types of bracket. And so this is an experiment just to see if this product by Siraya Tech is truly stronger or any different than standard resin. I looked through my Commodore collection and I was quickly able to find 2 examples of different hinge designs. This is the one I'm repairing today, and this is one with it has a couple of broken keys. I need a couple of plungers, and it came missing the number 1 key, so I still need a new key for this one, but that's not the topic for today. Today I just wanted to show that this is another of the case styles. It has the solid piece of hinge, and these seem to be much sturdier. I have one case that I know where these are slightly cracked, but I don't have any where they're just completely broken. The case I'm fixing today it's sort of the same width of a hinge, but you can see that it's missing the material between the 2 upright pieces. So these are much more fragile, and they very often break. And there are 2 wide hinges and 1 narrow hinge. The bottom of the case is the same in both of these. This case is very damaged. It had taken some pretty dark discoloring, and my retrobrighting attempts left it with sort of an uneven appearance, but I never give up on a case. And the reason why is the plastic is still so good. And for example, here's one that used to look worse than the one I just showed you. This one has been painted. I think this was a Rust-Oleum paint with a gloss coat, and it just came out great. It doesn't have a tacky feel. It's just very much nicer and very well cleaned up. And it needs an emblem, but other than that, it's now a perfectly good case, and we didn't have to throw anything away. So I just never give up on the cases. So we'll focus on this one today, and let's go get some measurements for the clips to repair this. Let's see what we have here. This one's intact, and if you notice, let me bring that into clear focus if I can. There we go. So this is a straight line out, and this little opening and the little mouth of it actually kicks back at an angle, and then the tongue comes right out. So there's a right angle in there, but we have a slight angle here relative to the back of the case. So we'll make our model with a long and straight piece, then we'll just kick it back at that angle and then come out with the little tongue piece. And it'll be that wide for this clip, and then we'll have two clips with the same profile but with the wider width dimension here. Okay, so now that we've designed the model in TinkerCAD and then sliced it in the CHITUBOX slicer software and exported it, I've loaded it to the Mars 3D printer, and I've been warming up the whole area over here. It's a little cool in the basement today, and Siraya Tech is recommending that we print at, I believe it was 25 degrees Celsius or higher, and I think that works out to about 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So being a little cool, I've been sort of preheating the corner of the basement over here. This is what the resin looks like. This is a very thick material. It's viscous, and this is interesting looking, sort of a blue green. So we're all ready to go here, and let's get this print started. I'm going to pour all the resin that I have here, and it's reusable. Any resin that's not used will be filtered and poured back into the bottle after the printing is finished. And let's kick it off and cover it. The cover blocks UV rays so that we don't accidentally cure some of the resin while it's in the reservoir. So this particular model is going to print in 99 layers, and it's going to take 40 minutes. And like magic, it's finished. Now the spindle is going to raise the 3D print out of the reservoir, and we get to see if anything's stuck to the plate. Okay, so there they are. Time to get these prints cleaned up and take a good look at them. Well, the 3D prints are cleaned up now, and they're looking good. I have not cured them in the UV light yet, but I thought what I would do next is just make sure they fit. So I'm thinking I will tape them in place in the case, just do a little bit of test fitting before I go any farther and glue them in place with super glue or anything like that. I hope this is coming through in focus and looking as good as it does in real life. It's not exactly matching, but it is so close. I mean, I'm sure it matches the dimensions in the model that I made, but my measurements may not have been done absolutely perfectly. I believe it's a little taller in this direction than the original tongue, just ever so slightly taller. I don't know if that'll be a problem. There might be clearance in the other part of the case for that. So I'm just going to tape these 3 clips in place and then try fitting it in the other half of the case. Hey, it's holding. Okay. This is a UV LED strip and inside of a little fixture that I made for curing the resin prints. So we'll just place these in there. Doesn't really matter how they go in there because there's so much reflection going on that they'll get plenty of exposure, and the resin is fairly clear, and that translucency helps it reach all the deepest parts of the resin for a full and complete cure. I'll probably leave that in there for at least 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Well, that ought to just about do it. Time to get these parts out of here and glue them into the case. Well, the cyanoacrylate has been curing for a few hours, and it's time to check to see how it did. Alright, I applied the glue low on the part, so there's actually some springiness up here at the top. Let's see how the hinge sits on the bottom case. One popped off. Oh, that one let go. So clearly that glue did not hold well. And here they are all glued up and ready to put the case back together. These were a really good fit. The gluing it's critical that you rough the surface of both pieces and then put 2 or 3 drops of super glue and hold it for at least a minute and then let it cure for about 8 hours. And after I did that, the glue held with no problem. Okay, and now here is how it snaps together. So just like usual, there can be some clicking sounds, some snapping sounds in the back. You hear that as it lets go. That's the familiar sound. That the original case clips do that also. These are perhaps not doing it as much because of a little bit of filing that I did. So one thing you can do is you can take a small flat or round file and come in and just roll off the underside of the little lip that sticks out. So right underneath here, just round that off a little bit with a file inside there, and that just gives it a little bit of smoother engagement with the other half of the case, and you don't get quite as much binding as you lower and raise the hinge. Look at that, just seamless. It holds together super well, no problems. Well, there you have it. That finishes up the hinge replacement, and I think this went quite well. Yeah, I don't think I would change anything about these hinges. I think that's going to be my final design on that. No need to tweak that. Much improved. One other thing about these replacement hinges, since they're mainly glued down in the lower part, notice I can bend that. There's just a little bit of springiness in the plastic that gives it a little bit more comfortable fit. Alright, it's great having this case back together again, all in one piece. With these new 3D printed clips, it's fitting tight and secure once again. That project was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it and benefited from seeing one good way to use a 3D printer. And hope that this was useful for you. Leave your comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. If not, let me know with a thumbs down. Please go ahead and subscribe. There's lots of content coming out soon. So until next time, see you then.